We turn a straight on a 3-bet pot here. Check called half pot on the flop. He's tanking because he's like, can I value bet this turn? Can I not? When he tank checks, I'm gonna go for the check raise. Let's see if I'm right. Reopen your ace jack. I think I'm right. Now I'm gonna jam. He's gonna be like, ah, this motherfucker has 9-10. He's gonna call me. When he tank checks the turn, he more often has a hand that is willing to reopen the river on a blank. So I use the timing tail there to exploitatively overcheck with my nuts, because I think he's very likely reopening the river. And I can perfectly represent a bunch of bluffs like, ooh, we got it, let's go. That right there, because of that hand alone, you should be in the Cash Made Simple week, and you should buy the Cash Made Simple community, okay? Because of that hand alone. Can we do it, chat? Can't we go for the all-in bluff? I think we should. Nice. Let's go. He went for the triple bluff here on 9-4-4-8-5 hijack versus button. We just went for the all-in bluff. For you to achieve what you need to achieve, at the end of the day, what is it that you need? What is it that we call improving as a poker player? Is building new heuristics and making your heuristics more accurate, okay? So you see a board, you have to figure out which size you're gonna bet and how often you're gonna bet. Those are the two only things you need to figure out. Look at how poker is simple. Every time you have a hand, the only thing you have to figure out is what's the sizing you're gonna bet and how frequently you're gonna bet. Those are the only two things you need to know to play poker in every spot. Now, what I'm going to teach you is the most efficient way possible that you can figure out what is that best sizing you need to pick and what is the heuristic for the frequency of your hands that you need to play. That's it. You have a spot, you have a hand, you have a heuristic. Heuristic, as Wikipedia calls it, is a simple solution to a complex problem. I love that definition, right? Simple solution to a complex problem. Poker is extremely complex. Playing poker is extremely complex. You have to, if you go deep on it, there are so many things that you could be doing and so many strategies you could be developing. But then a heuristic is a simple solution. Okay, you have this board, you have this hand class, you have this spot, so different positions. You just bet this size with this frequency. That's a heuristic. Oh, on double Broadway two-tone boards, button versus big blind, I bet 1.2x pot or I check. That's it. I only do those two things. 1.2x pot or check. That's a heuristic. On double Broadway two-tone boards, button versus big blind, if I want to bet, I'm gonna bet 1.2x pot or check. This is like a range frequency heuristic, a range sizing heuristic. Then you have hand class heuristics or combo heuristics. Oh, if I have low pocket pairs with the backdoor flush draw, I'm gonna bet 70% of the time, 80% of the time, 60% of the time. If I have a certain hand class on this type of board, I'm gonna bet this sizing at this frequency. That's a heuristic. On double Broadway two-tone boards, button versus big blind, if I have a low pocket pair with the backdoor flush draw, I bet 1.2x pot 60% of the time. That's a heuristic. Your job as a poker player is to acquire more heuristics and make your heuristics more accurate. So, you're in a spot where you say, oh, In that same situation, double broadly, two-tone board, button versus big blind. If I have top pair, I'm gonna bet 80% of the time, check 20. That's a heuristic. But then you could improve on that heuristic and say, okay, top pair high kicker, I'm gonna pure bet. Top pair medium kicker, I'm gonna split 50-50. Top pair low kicker, I'm gonna pure check or bet maybe small low frequency. You're refining your heuristic. You're making it more accurate. You're taking your initial heuristic that was just a global hand class heuristic, top pair. You're splitting it now in 3 different heuristics. Top pair high kicker, I do this. Top pair medium kicker, I do that. Top pair low kicker, I do this something else. Everything in poker, when it comes to getting better, is acquiring more heuristics and refining heuristics. What I'm gonna teach you guys in the Catch Me Made Simple week is how to build more heuristics faster and how to learn your heuristics more efficiently. Because a lot of what you guys do is like you're trying to build heuristics by studying, but the methods that you use are trash. You're like comparing your hands that you played against a solver because you want to figure out how to play, right? You want to have a heuristic for how to play the hand. Oh, you played that top set incorrectly in a 3-bet pot. It was a hand you was supposed to slow play, you fast play because you didn't have the heuristic that top sets are supposed to be slow play. But then you don't have a method for coming up with that heuristic. You just see that hand that you played and that's it. The next time you play, maybe you don't even remember what you reviewed and you keep playing the same way. Or what's even worse, sometimes I've seen this a lot throughout the years of coaching. The player sees something on a solver simulation, he thinks that that's a heuristic, and then he starts over applying it in similar spots that he thinks are similar. So he sees, oh, the backdoor flush draw doesn't double barrel here on the turn. And he's like, okay, next time I have a missed backdoor flush draw, I'm not gonna bet. But then he plays another hand and he goes into the solver, and the solver actually was betting the backdoor flush draw in that instance. So he learned a heuristic that was maybe very specific to a certain spot, and he misapplied that to other spots because he didn't have a method for properly constructing a heuristic and making it into a usable heuristic. Right? So you guys make all those mistakes. Your study is not efficient enough to build a heuristic. That's why you keep playing, you keep checking hands against the solver, but it's not like your strategy is improving all that much. Because this process of acquiring new heuristics and refining your current heuristics is really, really slow. It's inefficient. Sometimes it leads to incorrect conclusions. You learn something that you think is true, but it's not true. So what I'm gonna give you guys is methods for first, learning the heuristics that actually matter, right? Because let's also be honest here, figuring out whether you should double barrel the backdoor flush draw or not is not one of the most important heuristics you need to develop in your game. You know what a heuristic that is really useful for you? Should you value bet third pair against a fish in a bet check bet line? Should you go for a check raise bluff against a fish with ace high in the bet check bet line? Like your heuristics, most of your energy should be targeted at developing heuristic that can actually drive you a lot of EV. And these heuristics, first of all, against recreational players, we're gonna learn how to do that. Second of all, heuristics in the spots that matter the most to your win rate. That's extremely important. Third of all, heuristics for spots that your opponents have no clue how to play. Maybe it's not the most frequent spot, but it's a spot that your opponents are so bad at that really nailing down that spot it's what's going to give you a disproportionate result in terms of win rate. And there you are on a Tuesday afternoon, drilling how to defend against double barrel big blind versus button. Defending against double barrel big blind versus button, yes, it's relevant, but it's not a spot where you're gonna drive this huge amount of EV where people are playing this super poor way where you can pull up some sick exploit and where it's super difficult to figure out the thresholds. No, you're facing a double barrel. You more or less know the thresholds. And the data shows that people are not really making many mistakes when defending against a double barrel. So I'm gonna teach you guys an efficient method to learn usable and Heuristics that actually matter for you in the most important spots, and also those spots that your opponents are not playing well enough, because that's where you get disproportionate results for the amount of work you put in, right? At the end of the day, as I said in the last stream, we would all rather be playing, right? 6 spot here. 6 spot here. I went for the check raise. He just jams. No, I can't focus. If he has 10s. This fucking sucks, this one. But I can't fold there. I can't fold the pocket farms. You could just have words for value, and also a 10 is a very good bluff there, where he value bets the 10 and then uses as a 3-bet bluff if he wants to. So, where was I with my thought process? Fucking hand. Let's play this one here with the flush on the flop. We can bet tiny here against 2 on such a disconnected board. So yeah, that's the premise of the Cash Made Simple Week, to provide you guys with the framework for efficiently studying. What is efficiently studying? Learning useful things in a faster way, right? Hey Sal, I'm wondering if there will be something about studying the player pool in the Cash Made Simple Week, or it will only be in the programs. Absolutely there will. Absolutely there will, because I think that's part of making your study efficient, right? It's not all of it, but certainly part of making your study framework efficient is understanding how your player pool behaves, right? So absolutely how to do that is going to be a part of the Cash Made Simple Week. So if you're interested in that type of content, that type of subject, make sure to participate, because we're absolutely going to talk about that.
Call.
I've been studying population tendencies since 2017. And the fact that not many people still have like notions about how people play in most different spots. Like for example, a lot of people don't realize how Rex actually over bluff post flop. And the fact that a lot of people don't know that is kind of crazy to me. I discovered that for the first time almost 7 years ago. So the fact that even to this day a lot of people don't know this is crazy, and I'm gonna teach how to do that, how to study your player pool and make your study more efficient, because if you're studying how your pool behaves, that's one of the most important things you can ever study, right? Understanding how your real opponents actually behave. So this line here, we check the flop, move to a pot, we bet get clicked, then we 3-bet and he calls. And now the board pairs. This is a recreational. He clicks and then calls. That's fucked up. Would he ever click an 8x type hand? Probably not. Some kind of up against a polar range. Fucked up spot. I think the play here is to bet small and fold to a raise. I think that's probably the play here.
All in.
I think it is because when he calls, he clicked raise the turn. I 3-bet large, like 32 bigs, and then he snap calls. I said I would fold, but I'm only not gonna fold because of this fast like the snap call on the turn Kind of gave me vibes. This sounds good for me. I've watched so many of your videos on G2 Wizard and still have zero clue what I'm doing. Oh man. Yeah, the game is tough. The game is tough, and that goes back to what I was talking about a few minutes ago. I can't promise that making $100,000 a year is going to be easy. I can't promise that, you know, just come with me and everything is gonna be fine. You're not gonna have to put in the work. This game is tough. Even when you study a lot, it might be that you don't find the improvement you were expecting. So if you're not ready to put in the work, yeah, it gets really hard to sustain this game as a profession. We're making the cold for a bet here against Toma Lucky. He's been playing very tight this session, Toma Lucky. Being card dead, huh? Start with the small size, 10.99. The snap call goes in. Kind of interesting. The snap call. Snap call going in. Now we go something like 40-ish percent. 40-ish. What are you up to, mate? Toma Lucky. Not so lucky this time. That's a substantial tank right there. That's a timing tell, my friend. Yeah, so in that spot, if he calls, I know for a fact he has some hand like 10x pocket jacks. Like his range gets extremely defined when he tanks there for 30 seconds and calls. He probably folded a 10 there. And then by the time he tank and then calls, his range gets extremely defined, and you can pull up some serious exploits when you define people's ranges through timing tells. Timing tells are probably no. I've said this before. Most certainly the sickest sources of exploits in online poker. And in my Cash Made Simple community, the most advanced level of the membership is going to come with the Timing Tells Blueprint course. My course on Timing Tells is only going to be available through the Cash Made Simple community. I'm looking forward to providing that for you guys as well, because at this day and age, I think having Timing Tells as a source of exploits is extremely valuable. It's a source of exploit that no one cares. No one is looking at it. No one is paying attention to it. No one is trying to draw edges from it. So it creates a huge opportunity for those who invest some time into learning them and actually implementing the exploits.